questions if we like. Chief, would you like to take over?
Well, the first time was the in-car camera system. The last system we bought in 2015, and that system cost us, I think it was just under $16,000. And as you see from the quotes I gave you, those prices have gone up dramatically. I had a third quote and it was still in the $50,000 range from Motorola. So
I apologize for interrupting. It was 2015 was the last time we were purchased.
yes,
Gotcha.
and that system is completely dead. It won't
Right.
power up now.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
So the Axon system, it is a cloud-based system. As you can see, they have it's basically a interest-free loan for 5 years. It's $47.74. It's a basic system. It does not have the bells and whistles that our previous system had, but it does the job of getting us in-car video. The Digital Ally system is $43,295, and you can see the breakdown of that. The price per year is significantly higher. The Axon system is pretty well known in a lot of circles. I believe they're probably the largest distributor of in-car camera systems and body cameras in the nation now. They're huge. So their technology is pretty well established and tried out, and they got a good reputation. County's using them right now. I believe there's a couple other agencies that are using them around here as well.
Okay. Because you talked about that before, the account was mentioned.
Yes.
I remember we had that discussion. Okay.
So the advantage there is that the in-car computers are already set up to accept the software, and the newer antennas that we've been putting on, well, definitely on the pickup truck, and I'm not sure if we put it on the Durango or not, but it does require a newer antenna. We even have that antenna already in the 22 pickup truck. So some of the equipment's already been integrated in the new designs. So that is it on the in-car camera system. I hesitated for a long time because I had sticker shock. I just, this stuff's supposed to get cheaper as time goes on, and it's gotten insanely more expensive.
But I can say that there'd be more bells and whistles added since 2015 as well.
I think the system has less bells and whistles.
Okay.
The system we bought in 15 had integration with the radar, so the radar display was integrated into the video. We had wireless upload, we had body mics, it had front and rear camera, it had triggers, it had sensors that would set off the camera system if it was in a crash, or the lights were turned on, or if it was activated from the in-car. It was a top of the line system back in 2015. It was HD. It was one of the newer first systems to have the HD video. So it was a really good video, and it did serve its purpose. It was, it served us well, but it's 15, that's 9 years ago now. So it's served its life, and it's gone. It's given up the ghost. So the DA system, what they do is after 5 years, we can renew and get new equipment if we want to replace it and continue on with this. I call it a lease, but they say it's not a lease. You're basically renting the home. So at the end of 5 years, we either own the system or we can trade in and get the same deal and get a newer system.
What do you know about these guys? Anybody around here using them?
Well, Digital Ally was the one that made our old system.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Excellent.
Digital Ally, the old system, Axon,
Yeah,
is the new, and Axon is who the county is set.
Counties with, if you see any of the dash cam videos around, a lot of times you'll see their logo in the corner, and they're nationwide. They're doing everybody now. So
When you say system, does that, are you talking about the whole thing for every fleet, every vehicle in the fleet, or?
that's the 3 BART patrol cars.
Okay, so
We're not even including the SRO vehicle. So we do have the body cameras, so we all have body cameras. So there is something. And really, it's just a matter of economics. If we want to add the SRO, it's going to be, another third one. Didn't think it was really necessary since that vehicle wasn't really used for general patrol. So it's a lot of money to spend on a vehicle that's not being used for patrol work per se. So I really didn't see the need to do that.
Are the camera systems comparable? Like, I was reading this and it said there's gonna be a dash cam, then when it looks at compartment in the back.
Yeah, it's just like our system now, we have the front camera, the one in the back in the cage.
Okay.
And that cage camera is critical for transporting prisoners, or even citizens. It protects the officers from false allegations as well. If something does happen, we have a video recording of the incident. And just to underscore that, last year we did have, we were doing a medical transport and the person stopped breathing in the back seat. Officer Portacaso was able to pull over and get the person revived. But had that person expired, we would have had technically an in custody death.
Sure.
And that's a big deal, obviously. So the video is going to protect not only the officer, but the village in a situation like that.
You mentioned in an earlier meeting also about having a camera in the interview room. Does this
No.
include that?
No, honestly, for the limited amount of times that we use it and for what it was gonna cost, I couldn't get anything under $20,000. For that, we're just gonna use our body cameras.
Okay.
There are some things, I swear, I think some of these companies, they see .gov and the price triples.
Yep.
And we're talking about a surveillance camera that feeds into our server, and you're telling me it's gonna cost me $20,000 and that's the best I can get? It's insane. I'm not gonna, I wouldn't even come to you and ask for that kind of money. I think it's stupid. So yeah, for the interview room, for the limited times that we use it, we can use our body cameras and get the same results. So,
Thank you.
So 4775. The year, $4,775. Is the breakdown.
you may have seen the paperwork I gave you also. It talked about ALPR, that's automated license plate recognition. That's an extra that we're not buying. It's on the would be nice list. It'd be nice to have. I don't absolutely need it. We don't have it now. It is new technology. It's it's coming down the pipe, but it would not be included at this price.
What about maintenance? If we, go ahead.
Yeah, I've got the maintenance agreement here and they provide full service for the 5 years.
No training, extra training or anything like that has to be done with this?
Very minimal. They've already got all the slides and the videos and everything, and it's pretty standard. The system is pretty much fully automated. As far as it activates as soon as the car is turned on. Really, any training is gonna be for me and the lieutenant retrieving video on the back end. And the officers too, because they do retrieve their video for court. But, these systems are pretty standard. I mean, people today can pretty much figure these things out.
Is this system gonna meet your needs?
Yes,
You may not know this. Is this a monthly or an annual?
that's an annual subscription, the $47.75.
Okay. Thank you.
And this money is coming from where then, Danielle?
It would need to be a budget amendment.
Okay.
When we first this came up, I don't know if you guys recall that conversation, but this was in the budget to do this. But and again, I think I keep calling it lease to whatever lease payment. And that was one of the items that were removed, so I would add that in with the budget amendment. And I would recommend that if we do this, we go with this lease program because it helps kind of spread that cost over the period of life instead of paying for it all up front. But ultimately it's up to you guys.
Is the equipment ours at the end of the lease?
Yes. But they will replace it with the same terms and give us a new system if we decide to do that in 5 years.
And do another lease?
Right.
What is the lifespan of these things? 10 years?
They're saying 5 years.
Yeah, right.
After 5 years, they're out of warranty, so, that probably would come back and recommend, we replace it. That seems to be the trend.
And we haven't had the cameras for, I know that you said our others have not been working for a while.
For quite some time. We put Band-Aids on them as best we could and stretched them along, but yeah, they're old.
Yeah, we got those in 15 and
Yeah,
they
It serves their purpose.
Not having them as a liability.
Yes.
I agree.
So budget amendment. Do we have anything left in the police budget or is this a motor vehicle fund?
This is police budget, it would be general fund. That would pay for these, and right now we are down officers, so we have some wage money. What I would propose to you at this point is to do a budget amendment to increase expenses. I would not offset it with anything this early in the budget. I would just be hesitant if something happens or we do fill that position, or we're gonna have some more discussion on this next subject too about some costs. So I just don't like to mess with it too much in the beginning, but potentially we could cover this lease payment elsewhere.
We're already 3 months into the budget here, and we've got 2 openings that haven't been filled, so I don't know exactly, but I would assume we've got
Yes.
enough savings from wages compensate for this year anyway.
And this would have to, obviously, we don't do this evening, it would have to be done.
Yeah, so we really brought this to you guys because when you guys had first asked for information from Chief, and he, again, I think he said he was kind of sticker shock, so we wanted to bring this to you guys, just make sure this is still the path we're going. I would put this on the next council agenda for a budget amendment. And then we would also have this as a separate item to approve entering into this rent to own or lease agreement, so that Chief could move forward with purchasing.
So that would probably be next Monday then.
Yes, it would be the 22nd.
And this is actually a better deal than what they first quoted me, because I scoffed at the first one too, and then they came back with,
Scoff again.
yeah. So they came back with some better numbers, so. I told them the same thing I told you, I said, I go, this is a small town. I said, I'm not gonna go to the council and ask for $50,000 or even $25,000, flat fee for an in-car camera system. It's crazy. So that was kind of the nature of the discussion, and I'll give Axel my credit. They worked with me to give me the best price. Digital Ally worked with me too. That was, they gave me their best price. So I can't fault either company. And of course, both companies talked about the costs of materials. Material costs have gone up like everything else, and all this stuff is manufactured overseas. So.
Okay, any other questions or comments?
I guess I would just need a few things to ask me how to get the materials prepared for next week.
Yeah, I think sort of the consensus I'm carrying is that to bring it to council next a week from tonight.
Okay.
Budget amendment, thank you. That was quick. Department employer sponsored academy for new hires.
So this idea, trying to look at our recruiting efforts, which haven't given us any good candidates in over a year. We've had a couple of candidates last year and they couldn't make it past first blush. And it gives a simple initial background, and it wasn't passing muster. So, talking to Danielle, we were kind of spitballing an idea, and there's some grant money out there about possibly taking, I don't know if we want to eliminate one of the positions or what the plan was, but possibly sponsoring someone to go through the police academy. We pay them a reduced wage. They're our employee. We're sponsoring them, and this is becoming the trend now. There's more and more departments doing this because of the lack of recruits and the competition out there. The idea I had also, we talked about, was that if we did try to recruit somebody, it would be nice if we could recruit somebody locally who might actually stay with the department for 25 years.
Yeah.
And I think we got a better chance if we do something like this, sponsor them, hire them. They're our full-time employee. We put through the academy. We can come up with a service agreement where they agree to give us X number of years and stay with us, or they would have to reimburse us for the costs in the academy. And that can all be written. That's pretty standard too. We're seeing that a lot with a lot of agencies.
What's it cost to put somebody through the academy?
Absent wages, yeah, that was about $26,000. Yeah. It's full time. It's full time for 6 months.
Where's that at?
Probably at Schoolcraft. It's probably something.
So I did include a couple links. I don't know if you guys had a chance to look at them. One of those links is, it has the list of all of the different academies that you can go to. Each of them is a little bit different. It's like there's a couple colleges that offer it, but then they require you to take some basic classes not related to the academy with them ahead of time. So that would be something we'd have to work out. There is a grant right now, so they allocated $30 million towards it. Right now, there's 16 million, just over 16 million in remaining funds for this program. In order to even apply, you have to have a candidate or an applicant that you are sending to the academy. So there's a risk with this that I want to make sure you guys understand that we have to commit to pay for this, and when we're bringing this person on, we're not guaranteed this grant. Obviously, we would apply for it, we would try to get that money, but we have to go into this.
Not
With-
expected.
Correct. And then if we get it, then that's great, we're in a better position.
That grant's been out there for over a year now, right?
So it came out in, I think it was end of 21. And it's still got this, and I think the reason it has so much money is because you have to have that. You have to go into it anticipating to fully fund this and have that applicant.
So what would you think reduced wages for 6 months would be?
So that's what we would have to look at that. I would definitely propose that they have like a training wage because they can't go out and do the things that our current officers do. I'm not sure, we'd have to pull some other communities and see what they're doing. And then what I would propose.
Well, it wouldn't be like minimum, right?
No,
16, so
I could do some research on that to see what.
15, 20.
I was thinking probably 20 to
Probably else to get
22.
20 to 22, yeah.
I sent you all something I found from Granville that is doing that very same thing right now. And they have that program where they are at a reduced wage until they get through the academy, and then even their field training time is all.
Locally, the sheriff's department and Adrian have done this. I don't know what they paid, but I can find out.
And
City
they
of
would start
Granville,
getting benefits right away
Right.
too, which is the cost.
They start getting benefits?
Yes,
Oh,
because
well, I mean, that's,
they're full-time.
you're gonna attract young people with kids, I mean, they're gonna need that.
I sent it to everyone here, so you've got it, but their starting wage as a recruit was $24.31.
24, 31. What do you think time frame would be for them to have to remain before? I think the township is 4 years on the fire department, is that correct?
Anywhere from 3 to 5 years, more commonly it's been 3,
Okay.
5 has been rare.
I think
Like
the
it's
3 years commit.
3-year
The 3 years
commitment, right.
And then I said, I don't want to feel like the bear bending right now, but I just want you guys to go in this with your eyes wide open and understand, and please, I'm for this, but. So we do this agreement and I talked to the attorneys about this, we're within our right to do that. Now, if they leave, we have to somehow try to recoup that, and there's been a lot of communities that have not recouped that cost. Because again, there's a cost associated with recovering that, and at some point you get to a point where that cost exceeds what you're trying to recover.
This Detroit has
So
done
it's-
this for years. They had this agreement, and the city of Detroit Law Department basically told the police department it's not worth our time to go after them. So it was unenforceable. But I think with a smaller community,
Understand.
hopefully we're being more select. And again, if we can find that one person.
A local person like yourself.
Around here.
Well, and hopefully it deters them from even in that timeframe looking. So I absolutely think we should do it as a precaution. But again, I just want to make sure you guys understand that. I guess all the dynamics are different kind of factors to this.
Yeah, I think it's worth pursuing it. Just getting some preliminary numbers does make sense. Even if you keep this candidate for 4 years and they leave, it's an additional $5,000 to $6,000 a year on top. And if they stay for the duration of their career, it's $1,000 a year. So it's a pretty good investment if you get that right person.
Yeah, I think the potential and.
And it opens the door for a lot of good candidates.
Yeah.
Right, because that's what we talked about. I think there's high risk to this, but there's potentially high reward as well. I mean, if we get somebody that, and we keep saying local, but I mean, how many kids maybe don't want to go do a 4-year degree, but want to stay in the community and there's not a ton of opportunities and,
Yeah.
you know, I couldn't have graduated and been like, oh, I'm gonna go pay for this academy. There's no way. So.
It's tough to say I'm gonna go to school full-time for 6 months and not earn anything
Mhm.
and ask, unless you're coming from a wealthy family to do that, it's tough.
That's called student teaching.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was horrible. Cause you would student teach for 4 months. That's what you did, and you couldn't have another job. You
If,
didn't get paid for
if
4 months.
Detroit hadn't hired me, I couldn't have put myself in the academy.
No, this is excellent. That's the way to promote.
So we can crunch more numbers, but I just wanted to see if you guys were in concept, if you thought it was a good idea to kind of go down this road and see what we come up with.
I have a question, chief. What is the max number of police officers we can have here? Is there?
Right now, we're budgeted for, with the SRO, it's what, 6 officers? Then lieutenant and me, so, or no, 5,
No, it's-
5 officers with the SRO,
And then,
right?
yes.
Yeah,
So.
Yeah,
we
right,
could
right.
Potentially get more than one of these candidates.
We have 2 vacancies right now, but depending on what so if we don't get this grant, that would eat into some of the costs that we have for that second position that's open. So it's gonna depend. If we can get this funding, then potentially we could send 2 people through. We don't have enough money in the current budget to send 2 people fully with no grant money. We would only be able to do
the
1.
thought process being it's better to at least get one good candidate
Yes.
versus not having any applicants right now. So we can crunch it some more, I just kind of wanted to run past you, see how you felt about it.
I think it's a worthy endeavor.
Okay.
We just didn't wanna spend a ton of time and you guys
Yeah.
are like, we're not doing this.
Do you have anybody in mind that would fit this, or anybody have?
How do you solicit them? How do you get that?
Well, I think that's something we could certainly advertise about and, with the advance, and I would certainly reach out to the high school and,
I don't know who our DPW candidates are pretty darn good. I mean, I'm just stating when you asked that, Tim, like I mean,
Yeah.
they're from around here and they've been very good candidates and the people that we've talked to all have this desire to work for the village. I
And if
will,
we did this too, I would do some social media posts sharing,
certainly,
like, what are the benefits that we have and maybe talk about the career a little bit, do some different.
Yeah.
Things to kind of get information out there to see who's interested. We could attend some job fairs in the area. Adrian College does one usually annually.
Sort of seeing like,
Sienna Heights does one. So
This-
there's, I think, a couple different opportunities.
but this job, I mean, as you know, you get the wrong candidate, it could kill the entire police department. I mean, and I've seen it happen. You get one bad misconduct and it can take out an entire department. So we gotta be selective, like we've always been, and make sure we're doing our due diligence to get the right person. So,
I think that you would have.
and having
I think
someone
we would be
who's,
successful
yeah,
finding a candidate.
right.
I really believe that, yeah.
and having someone who's from the area. If I can find another Tyler Rayburn would be awesome, you know. I'm still mad at him for leaving, so I'm down there to see myself.
I don't think he cares.
I know.
He's pretty happy where he is, yeah.
You know approximately how long the academy is up there at school, right?
I think it's like 6 months. I can get it.
Where's it? 17 weeks.
Is it 17 weeks? That's it?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
sure.
thought that's what it said on, I looked it up. Don't quote me
That's
on
not
that.
5 months.
Yeah,
Those are like
4.5 anyway.
Like,
Then there would be,
Then we got in-service
I
training.
was just gonna say, there'd be
Yeah.
field training time here
Yes,
to where
it
they
would be, if you're talking about a brand new recruit, it's gonna be a year before they're out on the run, so. And that's really pushing it. You know, we've hired brand new recruits before and they were good candidates. They didn't stay more than a few years. Jake and I have both reflected on that and if there were things we could do different, we would have. So we learned some things about the way that we train them and the way we deployed them. And perhaps a little bit too quick on at least one of the candidates.
So Jake's kind of a local guy. I mean, he's been here didn't he start here?
Lieutenant Wagner's eligible He'll hit his 25th in next
That's what I'm
November, I
thinking.
think.
He
He's been
started
in
that
also
in Blissfield, right?
over 23 years. No, he started actually in Hudson, but he's been with the village for 23 years now. So.
It's not a big investment, though. I would try to push for the 5 years, I think, and then if they have to, wheel and deal. Maybe work it down to 3, but I know for paramedic in my company, like it's a 2-year commitment, that's like $8,000 or $9,000, so. Like you said, if they're gonna be training for a whole year before they're even on the road, that's 1 year burn. It'd be nice to have them at least 4.
Great.
Contribute towards the community.
You need at least a year just to be making sound decisions.
Yep.
Okay, well, we'll poke around that some more and see what we come up with. Other than that, no fires today, so we're in good shape.
Could have been a lot worse.
It could have been tonight, yeah, it would have been a lot worse. All right.
Nothing else on the agenda.
Safety, though, for water pressure. Do you want to talk about that now?
Any adjourned?
Sounds great.
Tuesday.